This is a Zoom multi-stomp and multi-effects pedal controller. It has a touchscreen interface. It has a single knob which we can use to adjust the controls of the pedals. It has a USB input over here, which I've currently used with a USB hub to connect 3 pedals to the controller, and the controller is controlling those 3 pedals. At the moment I've got an MS-70 connected, also a B3 and a G1on. And despite what Zoom says about their interfaces, the USB port can be used to control most of the parameters of all of these pedals and similar pedals. So this is an example. The G1on is one of the 1 series pedals. This will also work with the B1on and the X version of both of those. The B3 is the original G series pedals. This controller will also work with G3, G3X and G5. The MS-70 is one of the multi-stomp pedals. Some limitations with this, but it will give useful control of the first 3 effects in the chain, and some control of all effects in the chain for any of the MS pedals, the MS-70, the MS-60 or the MS-50. We just go to the master screen here. Gives a little overview of each of the 3 pedals. It's just been written at the moment for a maximum of 3. That's adaptable, that can be changed. We've also got a low frequency oscillator, which can be changed to square wave, rising or falling, as well as a sine wave, a master tempo control, and as well as this unit, we've got a Footswitch unit on the floor, plus the Footswitch unit also interfaces to expression pedals, and I've only got 1 attached, but you could have 4 or 8, basically as many as you want. More than could be useful. So here on the floor we have the 3 Zoom pedals with the Footswitches. I've got 8 of them, plus 1 expression pedal. The Footswitches are individually assignable. Basically anything you can do with the touchscreen unit, you can assign to the Footswitches. So an arbitrary combination of any commands or controls with a single Footswitch. Both the press and the release are assignable. The expression pedal can control basically any setting on any of the effects of any of the pedals. So very flexible, and you're not just limited to one control. You can control an arbitrary number, that expression pedal, arbitrary number across any of the pedals that are connected. If we go back to the touchscreen control unit, I'll just run quickly through what it does. Let's go to the B3. I originally wrote this because I wanted to control 2 B3s. I wanted more effects. Then I decided I'd try it with some of the G pedals, the G3 and the G5. Works well there. And then branched out to the MS-70, which is a very cool pedal, and this really makes it very useful in spite of a few little limitations I'll show you. And recently I tried a G1on, and they're very cool. You basically can control anything except for the tempo, which seems to be not doable via tap tempo or via external input. You've got to set that with the dial on the G1on. It looks like it at present. Basically we've got a touchscreen interface here. We can scroll through any of the effects, and as you can see, we can access all of the controls at once using either the touchscreen interface or the knob. We can adjust any of the controls. We can also adjust those with the screen. If you prefer. I prefer using the knob. We can do things on the screen like focus on a particular unit. We can scroll between them. We can adjust patch volume, balance for the B3, and tempo. We've also got a master tempo capability with this. We can use the master tempo to set all units to the same tempo. I'll show you that in a moment. Now, with the expression pedal or the LFO, we can adjust any number of units. So, for example, let's use the LFO for the moment, which is set up as pedal 3. So we can set it to FP3. We can set our minimum and our maximum. At the same time, if we want to, we could adjust the level as well as the gain. Let's go in the other direction though. There's the minimum. We'll get it going the other way. This could just as easily be the foot pedal if we wanted to. We are not limited to just that one effect or the one pedal. We can go, for example, to the G1. Let's set the level here as well on this phaser. We can set the minimum. We can set the maximum. So once again, that's using the low frequency oscillator, of which there's one, but there could be more if enough people wanted it. And that could also use the expression pedal or one of the several expression pedals that can be connected to the Footswitch unit. Let's go back to the master screen where we've got a bit of an overview of each of the pedals. You'll notice along the bottom of each of these, or in the individual pedal screens, we have a little row showing all of the effects in the chain. We can actually switch the effects on or off here. If I had picture in picture, I could show you that it really is happening on the effects as well. Trust me for the moment, I'll show you that at some other stage. All of the changes that are happening here really are reflected on the pedals. So we've got each of those along the bottom. We can switch each of the effects on or off either here or on the effects themselves on the screen. Now the beauty of this is, for example, with the G1on or the G1 pedals or the MS pedals, you're not restricted to the one button. You can assign foot switches to each of these. We can switch them on and off individually. You can also assign a foot switch to perform multiple functions. So you can switch one on and switch another off. You can change effects, especially for pedals like the MS-70, the MS-50, the MS-60, the G1 or the B1 pedals. It means that you can actually change the effects without losing tails, for example. It's a very cool aspect of this. The other thing that's possible with this unit is that you can operate the looper or the rhythm unit of the pedal while still having access to the effects controls here. So you can use the controls of the unit itself, for example, to operate the looper while changing the effects you're using while using the looper.